Okay, so now we're going to talk about the plan section of the SOAP note. And you can see we went through our subjective, objective findings, activities of daily living, and the plan. So if we look at our subjective findings, we said the patient had some pain in the lower back, but when we did our objective findings, we found that there was reduced range of motion in the cervical area, as well as some muscle spasm and pain on palpation in the neck, and some positive findings as far as lower back, a positive KEMS on the left, and some reduced lumbar range of motion with pain. Actually, this says with no pain. So reduced lumbar range of motion with pain. And all of that, again, you can go and look at under the narrative. So you'll be able to see all that in text format if you wanted to. We also went into the activities of daily living and saw this patient had a deficit in bending with pain on a level of 9, and they're a 50% out of 100% of their capacity, and our goal is to get them to 80% by their next reassessment. So we're going to go into our plan, and there may be a variety of things that you might do with this patient. For example, let's say we want to adjust L5. We can even put a listing in here, let's say body left, close that down, and equipment and length you're not going to use, but you are going to use frequency, which may be 3 times a week in the beginning. Duration, let's say 4 weeks. What are the goals for care? Now remember, since we put in our activities of daily living and what our goal was to get that patient from 50 to 80%, that's already going to be added to our goals, so you don't have to account for that here. But our goals are going to be correct subluxation, reduce pain, restore biomechanics, increase mobility, reduce swelling and inflammation, speed the healing process, prevent disc degeneration, increase range of motion, improve the nervous system, and let's just leave it at that. Alright, now I also know this patient has some range of motion problems in the neck, and maybe we found during motion palpation that is, we're going to adjust C5 as well, and again 3 times a week and for 4 weeks, and our goals are pretty much going to be the same in this area. But then also, let's say we want to do some, under physical therapy, maybe we want to do some manual therapy. And you might want to be specific here, so you could say cervical muscle. Okay, but and again, we're not going to use equipment, but let's say we're going to do that for 15 minutes, or you can say any number of minutes here. But I'm going to just say 15 minutes, and we're going to do that 3 times a week for 4 weeks. And the goal is to improve the effectiveness of the adjustment, definitely to reduce muscle spasm, increase mobility, reduce inflammation. We could say reduce pain, whatever you want to do here. Perhaps you're also going to do some therapeutic activities with this patient, or let's say mechanical traction. Let's say therapeutic exercises, and what we're going to do there is the wobble chair, and we're going to do that for 15 minutes, 3 times a week for 4 weeks. And again, pretty much the same. Strengthen muscles, improve nervous system, reduce pain, restore proper biomechanics. Let's just pretend like that's all we're going to do. So what you see I'm doing here is separating each component of my plan out line by line. This way, if one of these changes, or I want to stop doing this, let's say the patient's been coming in for a while and I want to have them do their exercises at home now, I can remove this one therapy out of my plan and keep the rest. Or if they're progressing through care and we've gotten improvement in their ADLs and their subjective and objective complaints, I can say, all right, we're not going to do 3 times a week anymore, we're going to drop it to once a week or twice a week, or what have you. Also, on any one visit, I'm going to tell my note or the system whether or not I actually did this procedure today. So I'm going to click on performed, and that's telling the note that I actually did this today. But the reason why, again, why you want to separate these out is if a patient comes in today and they do get their adjustments, but they don't have time, or for whatever reason they don't do their therapeutic activities or exercises or get the manual therapy, you can easily say, I did not perform that today, and just eliminate that one thing and leave the others. Even though it's still in your plan, which you want to say, normally it's going to be my plan every visit to do these things, but today I happen to not do these things. Today I happen to not do these things. All right. At any rate, when I go into my narrative and I look in my narrative, you're going to see that the note is telling telling the story of my entire plan for this patient. All right, so it's very comprehensive, a very comprehensive note.